Thanks for tuning in to City Lime. I'm your host, Ra.
And Aishel.
And we are bringing you all things Caribbean culture. Today, we have a special episode.
I feel like we say that every week. Every episode is special.
It's special. I don't know about you, sis. It's special to me.
Well, you know what? Liming with you is always special, so.
Teardrop. Teardrop. Well, let me get into this episode because we have so many things in store for today. So let's make it quick a little bit.
Yes. So this show is all about languages and dialects. And of course, we had to get some representation. So we have some lovely guests representing different islands. And of course, I want them to introduce themselves and say where they're from. So whoever wants to start.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm from Haiti. Yeah.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi, my name is Tunde Sam. I'm from Spanish Town, Jamaica.
I'm Shakim Shek. I'm from Anguilla, the Anguilla ambassador, one and only.
All right, cool beans. Thanks for coming to the set.
Yes.
Again, I'm Ra. Today on our set, we have the lovely, I hear that this drink is really good. I haven't tasted it yet, but this drink is called the Creepa.
The Creepa.
The Creepa.
Shout out, the Creepa. Shout out to you. So inside of this cocktail, we actually have some bourbon, gives it a little bit of spice. We also have some coconut and pineapple, like a little pineapple and coconut mix going on. And then we also have some lemon and some rhubarb bitters. This whole season, I've been putting rhubarb bitters in everything.
Listen, you
yeah.
get us lit for every episode. Like, this is strong. Look,
Thanks.
let me
We'll
tell you.
sip up, Cass. Sip up.
Cheers to a great episode, guys.
Definitely. Ooh, it's creeping. Ooh. Ooh.
Creeping up already.
Well, let's get into it, Ash.
Yes. So I have to ask you guys, we have a melting pot of Caribbean dialects and languages on the show tonight. So whoever wants to answer this question first, tell us a little bit about your island and some catchphrases or words that represent where you're from. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, I'll start it. Well, I represent one of the larger islands, and the slangs is very different, I would say, because not all of Jamaica speaks the same Patois. Like, it's different where you go. You'd have some like uptown Patois in Cherry Gardens. I went to boarding school in St. Elizabeth, which is the country. And if they open them out, you think it's another language. It's a whole different thing. So, I mean, but for the most part, similarly here, you know, artists set the trend, usually. My favorite artist is Popcorn, so I use a lot of popcorn lingo. Like, something going on, I say, trouble, you know, or something like that. And then you have the older lingo, and like catchphrases. How would I say? Let me think of one. We're coming from Jamaica. Or I'm going blank. I would say maybe something like Caribbean go a Linksted Market. You know, or something
Lord,
like that.
explain that one.
That's a off the top of the dome. That's a traditional song, and that's one of the catchy lines in it.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I'll go next. You guys know Sac Passe.
Nabule.
We don't say it as much as you guys think we do. It's mostly like Sac Up Fet or Amwe. I don't know.
Is Amwe bad? Because I feel like every time something happens,
It can
Amwe.
be used for anything. A soccer game. Your mom's on the phone with her best friend, and her son just crashed the car.
Oh, God. Two different extremes.
Honestly, anything. But yeah.
Okay.
Anguilla, small island, but we big and hot. If one phrase that I know all the time is ayalad. You say that for everything. You wake up in the morning, ayalad. You fall down, ayalad. You win $1 million, ayalad. You want to be angry and just say ayalad.
And then there's one more. This is actually my cousin, so shout out to my cousin.
Yeah.
Aya look a walk.
Aya look away.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
Just a phrase of us. Like
Okay.
somebody surprised you. Aya look away. What are you doing here?
Nice.
Keeping us trendy, huh? Keeping us trendy.
What about you, Ra? Trinidad.
Boy, Trinidad is such a mixing pot between all the different influences, and one is just a whole big mix up. But like, as you can see, D-Lime, Lyman, simple, a whole gathering, a social gathering. Outside, something that's really popular nowadays is zest. zest. If you guys don't know what zest is, get hip. So actually that derives from the zest culture or the influx of Jamaican immigrants in Trinidad, or Jamaican culture being alive and well known in Trinidad. So anytime you're zesting, that means like you really getting on bad, like you enjoying your life, and when you're in the lime, you could zest. Outside of that, some people may think that it's like a bad term, you know, affiliated with like some negative stuff, but it's not. It's really a good term to just experience life, zest.
Zest.
You know, like put some pizzazz.
Pizzazz.
That's my understanding of zest.
So I'm gonna use that one. Thank you.
Well, let's get into how you guys all how you always brought up with language inside your household. I know some of us are straight Caribbean, from there, born there, raised there, and then some of us are actually Caribbean American. So how was it in your lifetime growing up, your childhood, growing up a language?
So my father was from St. Kitts, my mother's from Anguilla, and I was born in St. Thomas. So I got like all kind of different phrases. I speak differently sometimes depending on where I'm at. I mean, Anguilla too is like a lot of people move there a lot. So you have people from all different countries, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana. So yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, so I am Haitian, but my parents were both born in Haiti, from Anike and Okai, but I was born in Boston, where most of the Haitians are. Boston, New York, or Florida. I don't know that. But I understand Kreyòl, like I can understand it, I can almost write it, but speaking it's not that great. Mostly because my sister, she's the one who got all the language. Like our parents were just learning the English when they came over, and like that's all they could speak to her. But she was going through elementary school when I was like growing up, so I was learning English through her. Even though my first language was Kreyòl, it just like died off. But like I can still understand. I'm not gonna answer to you in Kreyòl though. I'll answer you in English. Like like with my dad, he'll speak Kreyòl. I'll answer him back in English. Yeah, that's how it usually is. But of course, with my grandparents, I speak the best Kreyòl I can.
You have to.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Could you refresh me on the question?
How much did you drink?
Right.
Let me check.
Halfway.
So basically, how would you describe language growing up in your childhood? How was it influenced on you?
Okay. Well, my mother is from the UK. My father is Guyanese, and I was born and raised in Jamaica. So I got a good diversification. Like I use up British slang. I say in it quite a bit. But
Wait, sorry, before you even, do you say bruv, please?
yeah, I do say bruv.
Bruv.
I text it a lot more. But yeah, bruv is definitely a common.
Oh, Lord.
Growing up in Jamaica, it's actually a very hot topic in the island still. I was taught not really to embrace Patois as a language. It's more so as a dialect. And so I was not allowed to speak Patois in the household. It used to be proper English all the time. In school, they taught us proper English. Or I used to laugh at somebody who had a difficult time speaking proper English or mixing the Patois. So I would say with the schooling as well as that of like my parents, I stuck more to speaking proper English, and then when I got to school, that's when I speak in Patois when I'm with friends.
So you became a rebel.
Yeah.
Rebel life.
Definitely, most definitely.
Okay. I feel like it's kind of different from me though, because see now where you were kind of shunned and, don't speak Patois in the house. Me is like, yeah, I was born here in America. For those of you guys who need another refresher, my mother is Trinidadian, my father is Nigerian. But inside of my household, there was embrace your roots, You gotta speak this language because this is the language that we speak and we gotta speak it to, We gotta instill this culture in you through language and how you speak. So if there's trying to be like Yankee talk, no, there's no Yankee talk. Speak in your Trinidadian accent. That's how I was raised up. So, I mean, I might code switch. We'll get into that later on. But I might code switch, but that's just who I am, Speaking English, standard English, but then also speaking that little Trini dialect from time to time. And you'll see me go in and out of it. But we're going to get back into that.
Yeah, and for me too, I think my mother's from Anguilla, my father's from here, America, so I grew up with my mom in the house telling me, you know, she would say stuff in her accent and I would try to mimic it when I was younger, but it never stuck. I would go home to Anguilla, my cousin's picking on me, my cousin here pick on me all the time because I don't have an accent, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
But you can understand though.
I can understand it. That's all that matters.
Yes, understand. That's cool.
So I have a question for you guys. How do you guys feel when people try to mimic your accent? And I say that because right now in pop culture, you see Drake out here throwing out Patois all the time and trying to claim he's Jamaican or he loves Jamaican culture and things like that. How do you guys feel?
I mean, it's mixed emotions. When they use it correctly, I respect it. But it can't be that you're stealing culture.
Yeah.
Culture.
Right.
I say like Tom Hanks' son has been in the
And I've seen that one. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
What?
And I beg to question if he's actually been to Jamaica. The thing is, he's saying the right things. You're using the right lingo, but the pronunciation
A little bit off.
clearly says that, yeah, you probably didn't hear this while you're in Jamaica. You know somebody that been putting you on to like the certain stuff. So when they copy the lingo, I would say, I mean, I respect that the culture is known and shown. Jamaica's main income is tourism. So I never beat it being publicized to the rest of the world. However, though, it still is a way to do it where it's respectful of the culture and not seeming like you're just trying to get a hype off of it or be relevant for the moment.
Right.
You
So
know?
cultural appreciation
Yes,
instead of
true.
appropriation, because it's a
There we
difference
go.
there.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
big difference.
Okay.
A very big difference.
I would say I don't really have a problem with it. I don't think I've come across like a time when Haitian culture has been like appropriated in music. Sorry. Like when Rihanna did Man Down, she starts off with Ça Passe. That was my favorite. I loved it. What's another one? Jason Derulo put Ça Passe, slipped it in there. We were all like, what? Did we get
We on the map, baby.
Right.
yeah. But we're like, okay, we support it. I don't know if you guys know La Union Suite. It's like the Haitian American platform on Instagram. They're on Twitter as well. But like all those little things, whenever artist like slips in anything, look at Haitian. We know about it.
Okay.
But so far it's been good. It's all been an appreciation. We're
That's
back on
good.
the map. We become relevant. So I haven't like thought it as appropriation yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat because Anguilla's main industry is tourism. So, Drake, if you want to claim Anguilla, you've been there before.
Yeah.
Especially in the songs, like, you go to Christmas,
Yeah,
you get
Anguilla.
hyped for that type of stuff. Sizzla came and make a song, and that was our national anthem for a little while. And I laugh at it because when people try to mimic my accent, they try to talk Jamaican, and I'm not Jamaican. So it's amusing to me. I just take fun in it. I don't get offended.
Yeah. I feel like if it's done correctly, I'm not gonna say correctly, if it's like, if it's done with the proper heart. Because the only thing that I have an issue with is when people use the negative terms that we have in the Caribbean,
Oh my
to
goodness.
offend someone, or they may not know that it's offensive to someone, but they think that that is a thing to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
or go hold, yeah. Oh, where you getting this term from? I ain't give you that term to use. So once you're doing it in a respectful manner and the people around you is cool with it and you yourself is cool with it, not trying to be cool with it, then it's fine.
I can agree with that. I mean, Drake is just Drake. Drake does whatever he wants and nobody corrects him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
especially Tom Hanks' son. I've been seeing that. If you guys haven't been seeing that, check out Instagram. He is all over Instagram. And I was like asking myself, I'm like, how does he sound like he could be from Jamaica? Like his accent sound good to me. I was like, what?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was like,
I
what?
say he's saying the right
He's
things.
saying the right things.
But he's not pronouncing them right.
Right.
You understand? So I kind of iffy on the fence about it. Because it makes sense. Everything he's saying makes sense.
Yeah.
To say, but clearly you weren't really in Jamaica to get
Right.
it,
It's like something is off there. But I mean, people like that, you can't really, I don't see, especially Drake, I don't see him as appropriating the culture because he is for the culture. Like he's made songs with different reggae dancehall artists and he big up Jamaica, he big up the Caribbean all the time. He grew up in Toronto. You know what I mean? He grew up in Canada. That they have a huge Caribbean population. So
The only thing I would say, like, because he was making those sounds and then he was like trying to change the genre. He wasn't calling it reggae, dancehall when he was singing.
Well, it's consistent.
Right. I forgot the name of the genre they was saying that his type of music is.
He has a genre of music?
He has his own genre.
He was doing the Caribbean type.
It's actually recognized as genres.
Yeah, a different genre they were calling
Justin Bieber and all of them kind of Caribbean hip hop. It's not classified as rap or Caribbean music. It have its own.
Yeah, I forgot the name they were doing. That's the part I was getting a little offended at. Like, nah, call it what it is.
Yeah, see, that is different now.
You can jump on a wave, then say exactly what it is, and push our music far.
Yeah.
I'm sure they create your own culture.
Yeah, so that's a difference. That's definitely appropriation.
But then too, you can't really jump the gun because there's so many people in the Caribbean, so many different types of people. You may have people with light skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. Caribbean too. You may have a let me see, I was about to slip up. You may have an Asian looking person. You know, they from the Caribbean too. So you just can't really never fault someone for how they're speaking. But that's the little wrap up on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to ask this question. Do you guys find yourself code switching, especially when you're around your American friends or even like in a corporate setting or at work?
I'll answer this one last. If you
I definitely code switch. I'd say I'm about to graduate from Morris College, shout out to the house. And I'm going into these interviews with these different companies. And what it is not that I'm far from ashamed of my culture. I've represented my culture on numerous platforms, and I'm very proud of it. However, I've recognized that my accent can be a distraction, especially in an interview or in a professional setting or speaking to a group of people who aren't from where I'm from. They may focus on more of how I'm saying something than what I'm saying. So for that purpose, because at the end of the day, I'm getting my point across to you, I'm also prioritize making sure that you understand than me proudly representing the culture. At the end of the day, you're going to hear my accent. I still have an accent, but I'll make the effort just so that you don't have any qualms or confusion in regards to what I'm portraying to you.
Do you find yourself repeating questions or repeating answers or things like that because of your accent?
For me, I don't think so. I usually when I code switch, I code switch, and I do pretty well. I'm pretty clear in what I'm saying, unless let's say I'm not on it for the day, or when I'm just meeting somebody for the first time, they definitely will be thrown off because they recognize I have an accent, and in the shock of me having an accent, not pay attention to what I'm actually trying to say. But for the most part, no, I don't usually have to repeat what less now than before, most definitely.
So you must have it down to a T then. Let me hear something. Code switch real quick.
Good evening.
And then if you suck it to your boys, then what?
My Jamaican boys?
Yeah, Jamaican.
Yeah.
Jamaican.
So I pre or wall boy, everything good.
Everything good, bruv.
But like, even as I said, I brought up. I saw what you did. I'd say, being that I was brought up though, speaking proper English and being taught proper English in the home and school, it has definitely made it a lot easier for me to code switch now, and I can see why.
Okay.
Can you define code switch?
Code switch. So having to, I guess for you specifically, because you grew up in a Haitian household, but you don't necessarily speak Kreyòl like that. So when I say code switch, I mean, do you have to turn off and on your accent, or maybe do you find yourself putting Kreyòl words in when you're speaking your regular English and then having to kind of interject certain words in there? Because it can go both ways.
Okay, yeah. I will say that is a thing. When me and my sister were growing up, we made the term Kringlish. Like, it was half Kreyòl, half English. We were like pulling words from this, pulling words from this. I do have that trouble sometimes. I know when I'm talking to my friends, like on campus, I'm like searching for the word. I'm like, dang, I know I should know this word, but I can only think of the word in Kreyòl right now. And then I say it, and then they're like, Jenny, you're going to have to translate. And I'm like, I'm trying to find it. But yeah, I have that problem sometimes, or like, yeah. But that would be it. Yeah.
Okay.
So me, personally, I don't ever code switch. I talk to the president, the queen, the boss, my mother, everybody the same way.
Just so.
Yeah, just how I speak normally. I will not give them a dialect because there's a difference between the dialect and the accent. I won't try to talk American at all, but I'll speak standard English. And I've learned that because like I've seen Indians come and they don't have very, very, very good enunciation, and they don't try to speak American at all, and they rule top tech companies. Africans come and they rule companies speaking just how they speak. And we from the Caribbean, I always feel like we have to appropriate, fit in. So I make it a point, if I speak standard English, that you should be able to understand me. And I find that people nowadays to say I don't have an accent, but I still speak the same way I speak all the time. And I just don't have a question. I make a point in that because we are different and we don't have to try to fit in. And if you're a company that don't want to pick me because I don't speak like you, then that's not a place I want to be anyway. So that's just a judging point that I stand.
I agree for that. I would agree with that. I mean, I don't see why you would have to, because I mean, you made a great point. Indians come here, they rule. They not rule, but they're on the top of so many great Fortune 500 companies. African, same thing, and you don't necessarily see them code switching. You know what I mean? You may hear a slight. A slight difference in their speech or their accent because they want to make sure they're still, pronunciating and things like that. But they still have their accents and
I would speak slower. I would slow down my speech and everything. But I'm not changing the way I enunciate my words or anything. I will take all of their let out, but I don't change my accent.
But now, would you say that the Indians or the Asians as a whole do not speak? Do not change the way that they speak here in America or in the Caribbean, because from my perspective, the Asians that I know in Trinidad, they switch up. Like they will switch up. Okay, you really think that they're Trinidadian, like they just came off the plane this morning, but yet they're trying to, But from my perspective, what I think that they're doing is really trying to get business, because if they feel like they're more relatable to you, you're gonna be more inclined to buy, and then that's going to increase their prices.
But see, I think there's a difference though, because let's say Asians in Trinidad, they pick up the Trinidadian accent. I don't feel like Trinidadians would make them feel like, oh, I can't understand you. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something here in America that's different. Because you can go into a corporate company right now, a corporation right now with an accent, and they'll make you feel like you're less than because you don't speak the proper American English. Right. So I think there's a difference there.
So now going back off of that with what you said, Shaq, was you do not switch up at all.
No,
you just Shaq.
Yeah, I speak standard English. I speak standard English. I don't give a dialect, but I'm not gonna change my accent when I'm speaking.
But when I'm at work, I actually do switch up a little bit, because for one of my pet peeves, the line of business that I'm in, I'm craft bartending. So those are the people who want to come and they want the very high class, fancy drinks. So I can't be chopping it up with them, feeling real calm. I have to be like strict professional, whatever that is, to standard, So the last thing that I would like to hear them say, which they always do, because it's the same type of customers and clientele that I get, are you from Jamaica?
Right, yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Right.
Listen.
That is a theme. I want this to be a theme of this episode. Everybody with an accent is not from Jamaica.
Please and thank you.
Rihanna is from Jamaica, though.
No, she's not. She proudly represents Barbados.
She's actually from Angola. Don't.
Oh, gosh. Anybody else Haitian? Is Rihanna from Haitian? Is Rihanna from Haiti?
No.
Oh, no.
It's cool. We got you.
I mean, I would say, I'd want to know then, what do you guys consider necessarily code switching? Because I would say I agree. I wouldn't take off my accent entirely, but I do consider it code switching for myself, because I don't speak to them how I'd casually speak. Even speak with my mom or speak with my friends and family. It definitely changes once I'm in the workspace, and it's not just me using professional verbiage, but it's also toning down the accent that I use for that same purpose of, you know, wanting you guys to understand. So would you consider that code switching, or would that just be, you know, adjusting for the purpose?
Definitely code switching. And you said something, you said toning down.
Yeah.
The fact that you even have to tone down your accent, to me, is considered code switching because you can't talk how you want to talk. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is something that's very prevalent, like especially with Caribbeans who come to America and, you know, they work in corporate jobs. I have friends that are Caribbean that work in corporate settings, and the person they are on the phone and the person they are on the floor, totally different people. I can talk to my friend on the phone, full-blown accent. I text them or I see them in action with a coworker or something like that, totally different person. So to me, that's code switching, but that's my definition.
Yeah, mine too. I find I kind of go off for that because code switching doesn't necessarily have to be with dialect or accents. You could code switch in an American accent, you know, casually, socially, business professionally, you know. It doesn't have to necessarily stem from a country's dialect or verbiage.
And I can give you an example too, because this happens to me all the time. Growing up, going to Anguilla every other year for summer or Christmas or whatever, I would always come back with some type of slight accent, right? So I remember in middle school one time I came back and I was talking to my friends and I forgot what I was saying, and they kept saying, Ashley, oh my goodness, what happened? You went home and you just came back and you have an accent. And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, okay, I can't say that word because they don't understand. And I kept having to repeat myself, and I was like, all right, that to me is code switching, when I have to dumb down or tone down what I say because you can't understand it.
But is that really code switching? Because if I'm saying terms that you're just culturally not aware of, I don't think that's code switching per se. But if I'm changing the way that I announce, if I say water instead of water, that is code switching to me.
That's code switching.
Okay. But if I telling you to instead of saying like I have an instance, we work in networking a lot, so I was telling someone to unplug something, but I told her to plug it out. And she like, what are you talking about? I said, plug out the card, right? And she's like, what? Oh, unplug. I don't think that's code switching because she would never be aware of what plug it out means, right? For that,
I can see that.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, that's you know, culturally it's a different.
Communicate because we're in a standard setting, so you have to speak a standard language, right?
Right.
English, but if I'm giving broken English at terms that they would not be aware of. Like pre-this, if I meet him and like on the street and like, yo, pre-this or what going on? Yeah. However you meet, he gonna actually like if you speak another language. I don't think that's cool.
I think we definitely agree on the pre, but I would see somebody else not understanding that. Like for me, one thing that I've never forgotten, I moved here twice. I moved here my 9th grade year, hated it, moved back to Jamaica, came back for college. And I remember calling somebody in my 2nd year of college. And I picked up the phone and I said, good night, is this Jessica? She said, good night, are you hanging up? And I was like, what? I was like, no, it's just common courtesy. I'm saying, she's like, no, you don't say good night to start a conversation in the night. And I was so confused as a Jamaican who you call somebody house respectfully, you know? And I said, good night. And they were taken aback entirely, really and truly.
But see, I would still consider that, maybe that's just my personal opinion, I would still consider that code switching, because didn't you take that back and say, oh, good evening? Yeah. That's code switching. Code switching means switching from what you want to say to what the other person, you know, I guess would like to hear. I guess to appease them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I think it's just not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But I'm just curious as to how often you might have to do it. And you mentioned that you do it because of interviewing. You have to code switch. You have to. You can't go in there speaking patois and think you're going to get the job. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. But you have to do it.
So since we're on the topic of code switching, before we switch it up and play our little game that we have for this evening, last question that I have for you all is, do you have any type of accent, Caribbean accent from another country that you wish you could switch over to?
Why are you hitting it?
Not me.
Okay. I guess I would say I wish I had a stronger Haitian accent. That'd be awesome. I sound American. It's boring. No offense, but it's boring.
You want to speak like Jean?
Honestly, though. But, Yeah. I feel like it's different because like Haitians, we speak another language. So like with code switching, it's like it's a whole turnaround because you can't speak another language to someone else because they're not gonna understand any of it. So yeah, there's that problem.
I guess if because I was born in St. Thomas, so when people tell people I'm from St. Thomas, they're like, you don't sound St. Thomas. So I guess if I could speak another dialect, it would be the Thoman accent.
Okay.
That's just for that reason. But I'm proud of Anguilla and I don't want to change that.
That's cool.
I thought you was gonna ask us to display the accent.
No.
I would say I like a Virgin Islands accent.
Yeah.
A Virgin Islands accent is actually from a girl. I've met a few Virgin Island girls, and that's the one accent from a woman that I've heard that really made me turn my head. You know, and I think it's the British Virgin Islands, not the American one. The British one specifically
We're gonna get some hate in the comments.
That'd be one accent that I say stands out for me, and maybe if I could try, catch it out, do a thing and get it.
I would say one of my favorite accents is the Bermudan accent.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She like, ooh, feeling hot.
My friend Kayla, I love her accent. I just like hearing her speak. I'm just like, you can go on. Just talk about anything. It's cool.
I would definitely have to agree. If I had an accent, or a dialect, it would definitely be from Bermuda. I love how they speak. And then also too, I'm not gonna say oddly enough, but outside of the Bermudian accent or dialect, I would definitely say Guyana.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how they kind of say it. Yeah. Not picking on y'all, but I feel like, we had a lot of Guyanese this season. So I think they influenced me a little bit. I might have to start saying chicken curry from now on.
That's a whole other conversation.
That just doesn't make sense though.
Yeah.
For
The
me,
Guyanese will stand up for it.
For me, I would say, I wish I had a stronger Anguillan accent, of course, but my favorite accent to hear, Bajans. There is something about a Bajan accent. I don't know what it is about a Bajan accent, but I love Bajans. I love the way that I can literally just sit there and listen like, wow, sounds so nice. Sounds like music to my ears, at least to me.
Bajans in Trinidad just sing.
They sing. Yeah.
Interesting.
We're going to say interesting to that note. Let me switch it up to the next game. So this game that we are doing is actually going to be a dialect tag. So if you're not familiar with a dialect tag is actually a certain type of little game that you go over to see, not really if you have an accent, but how would you really say it in your dialect according to your country. So we have some cards here on our little round table. One by one, we're going to each pick up a card and read out loud what the card says, and then one by one we'll say how it is pronounced, said, or whatever, so and so, based on a card from our country. Right? Cool beans. Aisha, you want to start?
Yes. Mind you, I have no accent, so. Okay. BOTH. I would say both.
Both.
And make sure you all are using the mics too.
I'd say both.
Both.
But like, are you asking like in our are you asking like in Kreyòl?
How would you personally say it, and how is it said in your country?
Okay, so I would say both, and then I would also say legit.
Okay.
Because y'all have a whole nother.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say both. Yeah, I would definitely that TH is
Both.
the heart.
That's too
Yeah.
much.
Too hard. Yeah, both. It's kind of sound like a. Why am I holding this thing? It kind of sounds like a boat.
It's the drink sis.
It's
creeping up.
It's creeping.
The Creepa.
Alright, let me get back into it. Well, how about y'all got pick two?
Okay.
Pick
Yeah, I'll can pick.
is IRON and I'll call this iron.
I would either say iron or fey.
Okay.
Iron. Yeah.
So this is how we pronounce the word, right? But if
Yeah.
I was to, we call it a heater back home.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, use a heater to iron your clothes.
See, I wasn't even thinking about the actual term. I was just thinking about the word.
Right.
So we can do
Iron.
that too then. So put the term that, yeah.
Just a heater.
Yeah, iron.
Iron. For me.
Iron.
Iron.
Okay.
All right, let me pick one. Okay, what do you call this? So on here, we're gonna show it in the clip, but on here there's a fruit. It looks like a star, but for us, it's a 5 finger.
It's a 5 finger. We'd call it star fruit in Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know it's not star. Star apple is a different thing,
Yeah.
and I usually confuse them, but I think it's star fruit.
I would also call it star fruit, but I do know there's another word for it. Like there's another Kreyòl word for it. I just don't know.
Yeah, I think we used to call that star apple. Yeah.
Apple.
That's what I know it as, star apple.
Okay,
Interesting.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I know this one. Yeah. We call this guinea in Jamaica, without a doubt. I wasn't allowed to eat this till I was like 7 years old.
Why?
I
Why?
thought I was going to kill myself.
Okay.
I don't really think I've had the fruit before.
Wow. That'll bring some fear.
I don't know what I would call it.
Okay, so we call them guineps or kinips. Because my father from St. Kitts, they call them skinips as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what we know them as. And you eat too much of these, you get constipated. So
Yes.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, really easy.
For me, Guinea.
Guinea.
That's what I know it as, Guinea.
Yeah. So so I have some family from Vinci, so they say Guinea, but in Trinidad it's Chenet. Like Chenet, man, Chenet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's crazy how one fruit has so many different
So
names.
many. All right, draw next.
I think this is macaroni. Oh, okay. This looks like macaroni. Yeah, it's just macaroni over again. Yeah.
Yes. Macaroni, yeah, we call it macaroni same way.
Anamaka.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to make the reference, but I still was laughing about it. But yeah, macaroni.
Yeah, we call this macaroni too. It looks like a macaroni pie, but yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Macaroni pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, macaroni.
So you guys don't put, sometimes you don't put the pie at the end. It's not a macaroni pie?
If it's in there, it's a macaroni pie. But because we stew it as well with cheese and just macaroni and cheese.
Okay. Yeah, macaroni pie.
Your turn, Ra?
All right, I can check it. All right. What do you call a homemade beverage in a bag? Sucker bag.
Bag juice.
Bag juice.
I can't think of the word.
I know, alright, so I'd say bug juice is one. I call it bug juice. Like my parents would call it suck. I know also them serve syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah, syrup is homemade in a bag, but what it does is you have the ice in the plastic bag and then there's a bucket of syrup and then pump it.
But
And then you go in and
But
they
is
call
it like
syrup.
shave ice?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's different. That's
Yeah.
Frisco.
Yeah, we call
Fras-
those.
okay.
We call those fricos.
Fricos, yeah.
Okay.
I used to-
But the ones in a bag, like the
one in the
juice.
seal bag and you
Yeah,
buy the
yeah.
bag.
Bag juice.
Yeah, a bag juice.
Yeah.
Bag juice.
Bag juice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sucker bag. Sometimes bag juice, but sucker bag.
Okay, let's see.
We skipping?
Yeah, we're skipping. Okay, what do you call your male parent? Dad, daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, I call my father by his first name.
Oh, Lord.
Or so, but
You don't get looks for that?
father. Me, yeah, live with me.
DMT, the context.
It's Dad. I know here, daddy is definitely common in Jamaica, but I would say the word is a lot less sexualized in the Caribbean than here. So I had a number of friends who call their dad daddy and dad. So
I would say I alternate. I do say daddy, and then I also say papi. Yeah, it's less sexualized. It's just normal, I guess, or pa.
Yeah.
For the older guys.
Yeah, I grew up Daddy is why I call my father all the time. Dad is another common thing. Yeah.
Yeah, daddy.
Yeah. I call my father daddy, but I know people just call their father. Yeah, I say DDA.
Right.
Yeah.
Father's like fine close to you, you're my father. But
Yeah,
like,
right.
Next to you and like cool with your daddy.
Yeah.
Right.
Poopa.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Poopa.
our version of that.
I will say when they get older, we do call them Burbon, which means
Yeah.
old man.
And Timon, if you ain't know.
Yeah. So my dad, he's like 50 something. And I call him Burbon all the time because he's getting old.
All right. Pronounce this. Stupid.
Oh. Stupid.
Okay.
Stupid.
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 All right. I got next one for you. What do you call your female parents?
Mommy.
I call mine mommy. I do say ma every now and then, but most of my cousins they call their moms mommy.
Mommy.
Yeah, mommy or mummy is more so I pronounce mine.
Like that type of mommy.
No. Mummy.
Okay.
M-U-M-M-Y. more so.
Mommy.
Yeah.
And that's British.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mom.
What do you call mom?
Mom.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I call my mom just mom. Sometimes ma. But you know, I know other people from other Caribbean islands that say like mother.
Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah.
We gotta stop drinking.
Please. And you guys are not even drinking. I feel like I drink more than you guys.
Oh, really?
No, never. You got me beat. Never mind.
All right, somebody draw next.
He's halfway.
Water. How would you pronounce W-A-T-E-R? I say water.
Say water.
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 Alien.
No D in that word.
I know. It has.
Water.
I grew up in the South. I think that's what that is.
Do you know, oddly enough, that's the one thing that I don't switch up when I'm in the Caribbean. I just say water. Let me get a water. That's the only thing. Everything else could be switched up, but I can't get
That's
down.
like the first word when you're teaching somebody to speak Caribbean, how you say water.
Water.
Yeah, that's the first
Water.
word. Water.
Water.
Yeah, water.
The first lesson.
That and tree.
Yeah,
and tree.
yes.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's the last one. How do you say Tree?
Oh, really? Okay.
No. Wow. I'm.
Oh,
It's the
TH.
drink. The creeper is creeping up. THRE.
Okay, so there's no such thing as an H in a word. If your H come next to a letter, we don't pronounce it. It's too much work. So
Alright,
it's
we got
tree,
syntax
it's
going on.
boat, what other word got? Weather. You don't pronounce
Weather.
the H, you know. Right.
I would just say tree. But like I do agree with what he said. Like there's a road where I live called Thornton Road. Never the H is pronounced. It's always Toton Road.
Yeah, trees I definitely pronounce it as well. I feel like I'm going against all of my schooling as a kid in Jamaica. Because I definitely wouldn't pronounce it as three. In pronunciating.
Oddly enough, people in Trinidad, like, they're getting away from the tree. Like, people that still say that, but, I mean, it's 2020 now, and Americanization is coming relevant and prevalent, so. Three. Last one that I have. Last one. Think hard. What do you call the best social rum of your country? White Oak.
Like, what's the name of it?
Yeah.
What would I classify as?
What's the rum that you're drinking? What's the rum of choice when you had a fete?
White rum.
What type of white rum?
Rare nephew white rum.
Okay.
But they're probably not going to have it.
When you're in the Caribbean or when you're with...
What do you have when you go home?
You're probably not going to have a white rum sale. They're going to have an Appleton or a red label. They're going to have red label sale.
Red label, yeah.
Or Appleton. Which is good. But my first choice is always a rare nephew white rum.
Got it. Put on the hip.
I'm pretty sure all y'all know Haitians got babaku. That's really it. I know my dad, he drinks Jack Daniels sometimes, but like straight for the bottle.
So this is like rum that was in our country, or just what we drink. If I had to choose a rum.
Yeah,
Okay,
from
so
your country.
Pirates rum is from we do that in Angola, and I feel like as the generations change, the rum of choice change. 'Cause I remember when I was small, it was Black Label, Blue Label, and all the labels. Then I used to drink a lot of Campari. Now it's like the guys are drinking a lot of Hennessy and Captain Morgan.
Ciroc now.
Ciroc, yeah, those types of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on who you talk to. You
But a
get
parrot
different-
rum.
Pirate.
rum from
Pirate.
the-
Alright,
Pirate,
cool.
yes.
There you have it.
I would like to make an honorable mention to the Guyanese, the XM rum. And high wine, if you know about high wine, the product of Guyana is deadly. Really, really.
Okay.
Deadly.
Yeah, that's some rum.
Okay.
XM and high wine. Yeah.
Is that an overproof?
I'm not
Like
too
a sunset?
sure, but
Okay.
it's 70%. Is the
Ooh,
high wine.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty rough.
Alright, we might need to get some sponsorships, brother.
Let me tell you.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
listening out there, we need some sponsorship.
Yeah. Well, how do y'all feel? How y'all feel? You feeling wavy?
Yeah. Maybe if
Had
I
nice?
get up. I feel good now.
Alright. All the jitters went away.
Yeah.
Well, that is good because I don't know about all y'all, but I had a lovely, lovely time tonight. Like,
Yes.
energies are just at a high.
Yes, I learned so much about different islands. Of course, having my cousin here just made it easier to kind of hear about, Anguilla and sharing Anguilla with you guys because a lot of people don't really necessarily know about Anguilla because they always say it's a small island, but small island, big heart. So
Yeah.
And on that note, we always wrap up our show with a listener question. So I think I want to ask the listeners tonight, do you find yourself code switching when you're in a corporate setting? Yes, no, and why? So let us know. You can comment, you can DM us, you can email us, you can call us, you can text us, however you want to reach us. Let us know because I'm very curious about that because we had so many different definitions going around and I'm curious to see what other people have to say. So.
Yeah. And before we close out, we actually have been doing student associations, Caribbean student associations throughout the whole entire season. Not going to name any in particular by me tonight, but we do have one former president and then another current president actually have their own CSA, so they can go ahead and get their own shout outs.
I'll big up AUC Vibes. That's the Caribbean Student Association from Morehouse College, Clark-Atlanta, and Spelman. That's what my CSA.
Hi, I'm President Creepa, Georgia State. What else were we supposed to say?
That's it, babes.
And don't be modest because we have two co-founders, right?
Yeah.
For AUC Vibes.
Shout
Shout out to you guys.
Well, I'm Shaq, the Angola ambassador. Angola's carnival is the first week of August. Don't be afraid to come down. We have fun. Angola 264.
Okay.
18 degrees now, 63 degrees.
Okay, not on everything.
Alright?
Pirate rum on you?
Pirate rum on me.
Okay.
Mention Shaq and you get there for free.
As long as it's not Campari because I'm not drinking that.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for liming with us.
Yes.
Hey, show.
This is episode 9. We have one more show before we wrap up the season, so we appreciate all of you guys who tune in faithfully every single week. Of course, you can always find us at watch_DLime, DILIME on Instagram, Caribbeanlifetv on Instagram and Facebook, and of course, Caribbeanlifetv Global on YouTube. And you guys can give your shout outs to your own personal pages if you guys want some followers tonight. People might want to follow you guys and find out more about your dialect. So go ahead, shout yourself out.
I'm a mischievous guy. You can follow me at Remy_Saga. That's Remy_Saga.
My Instagram is Jenny.metelus, Haitian last name. Yeah, I always have to spell it. It's cool.
My Instagram is Tunde876, TUNDE876.
And that's it. All of this info is going to be located in the description box of this very episode.
Yes.
So hope you all enjoyed because we sure did. Have a really great night and we'll see you all soon.
See you next week.
Bye.